if you have any real big goals in life, nothing really gets done in a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever. Willpower is not the answer. The answer is something else. And it is within your and my reach. So here's what happens. So let's understand what's happening in the case of these serial achievers. You sometimes see these people who have achieved a lot of things, often multiple times. Somebody has built maybe like 3 startups. People who have cracked difficult exams, they have gone through difficult life experiences, or even in regular jobs, there are people who really excel. And when we look at those people and we wonder like, why are they so successful? Quite often our belief or our response is that, oh, those guys, they must be having a lot of willpower. And maybe I'm not able to achieve the same level of success because I don't have that willpower. And today I'm going to tell you that's the wrong answer. Willpower is not the answer. The answer is something else. And it is within your and my reach. So here's what happens. Think of willpower as a push, all right? And what we know from research and from science is that the willpower that we have is finite. As an example, somebody goes through a day which is, let's say during the day they were very busy, it was a difficult day, they had to really push themselves to do stuff. And by the time it's evening, they have been pushing themselves the whole day to get the work done. And by the time it's evening, their willpower is exhausted. And at that point, if they are given, let's say, some work, something which is challenging, they are much more likely to quit on days on which they are exhausted than on days when they are not exhausted, when they are fresh. This has been proven, which means willpower is like a finite amount of reserve that you have. It gets consumed and then you have no more. So willpower cannot be the reason why somebody is able to push through a goal or push through a journey and achieve a goal which might be 1 or 2 or 3 years out. And by the way, if you have any real big goals in life, nothing really gets done in a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever. It will take time. It will probably take a couple of years easily. So then, how do we keep going for that long? So let's understand what's happening in the case of these serial achievers. I want to share an example of my own colleague. So one of my colleagues, she's very fond of working on Excel, building models, figuring out data and stuff like that. So now let's say I'm creating a new program, which I am. So I'm creating a new program called Zen Productivity, which we are going to launch soon. And for that, there is a lot of work, including a lot of Excel sheets have to be created. So when she has some task, she will often work till midnight, late, sometimes even past midnight, when there is no real requirement. I tell her, like, take it easy, like, we can do it tomorrow. But she loves doing it. And here is the thing. Since she has done it so often, when she makes some small piece of progress, let's say she finds a way to show some data nicely, or connect, or find some clever formula, or find some way to solve a problem cleverly, that small piece of achievement gives her a sense of reward. And whenever we have the sense of reward, what happens? In our brain, there is a neurotransmitter called dopamine, which is released. You might have heard of dopamine. Dopamine is sort of the motivation chemical. So when your dopamine is up, your motivation goes up. So here, in her case, what's happening is whenever she gets something right, she makes a small progress, she feels that dopamine and she is motivated. And that motivation keeps her going. So all these people whom we see that they're so successful, what they're doing is when they go through the journey, whenever they have these small pieces of progress, some achievement, they connect the dots, they figure out some insight, they solve a small problem. Those small things that happen in the journey, those small things, they give them this constant drip of motivation, this constant dip of dopamine keeps coming, and this motivation keeps them going one step at a time. And then they get to the finish line. And one more thing happens. Once you have gone through this journey once or twice, in whatever context, it could be maybe you pursued a big goal in school, maybe preparing for an exam, in college, job, whatever. Once you have done this thing, in your mind you know that whatever journey you start or whatever journey you pursue, on the way there are going to be these small achievements. And you start paying attention, you start cherishing them. When you cherish them, even a small amount of progress or small clever thing you have done, it feels rewarding. People who have not gone through it, they think that they have to push. Let's say a heavy object has to be moved. So there is a push and there is a pull. Both can help. So push is the willpower and pull is the motivation. People who succeed, from outside we think they are pushing, but what's happening is they are pulling much more than they are pushing, and this pull comes from these doses of these small achievements, what I like to call micro rewards. If you have a goal that you want to pursue, something that will take maybe months, maybe years, don't think that you can't do it because you don't have willpower. You don't need willpower. What you need is to immerse yourself, pay attention to those small things that you're getting right, even a small win. It is important. In fact, it is the most important thing. If you start cherishing yourself, give yourself a pat on your back, feel good about those small things, then any journey becomes enjoyable. And if a journey is enjoyable, the destination is inevitable.